This is Leah. Leah, she's the lady in charge of the Uwezo in Nakuru Town East constituency. And today we are happy that we were able to give a record 3.7, I think, million shillings to. We have the chair. We have the chair of Uwezo, kijana anaitwa Brian, na yeye ndio chairman wa kamiti ya Uwezo Nakuru Town East constituency. Of course, it's a combination of selection of people from Nakuru Town East constituency and the women rep. This girl, she's an intern at the Uwezo office in Nakuru Town East. And of course, we have this young man here representing the office, Elijah, representing the office of the women rep. As you know, the law stipulates that Uwezo, the committee, is a selection between the constituency office, member of parliament, and the women rep. So we were here as a team today. Proudly today, we've been able to give checks worth 3.7 million to, I think, 37 women groups. And the Uwezo Fund, as you've known, is a fund that was started a long time ago that is usually assists women groups at the ward level to start up their businesses. Of course, it's we would call an intern replace, where women start learning how to do business. And the Uwezo, by law, the list that is given by Uwezo is 50,000, and the highest is 500,000. And today we had all those categories from 50,000 all the way to 500,000. And of course, for you to get to 500,000, it is a combination of having taken maybe twice or thrice or four times, and you refund. Just the recent report that came from the Kenya Bureau of Statistics, Nakuru Town is among the top payers of Uwezo Fund with a record of 80%. And we want to thank our groups, women groups, youth groups, and the people living with disability, to thank them that they are able to get money and be able to refund and again get the next allocation. And it is the only way that, of course, the women are I think 90% are women. But it is good to understand that 80% of the borrowers have already complied and fully paid up their loans. And the good thing about Uwezo is a very special fund. You get money, interest free, and has a grace period of 6 months. So you can imagine within 6 months you will have worked, you will have gotten these things, got some profit, you will start paying on the 7th month. And that is the beauty of Uwezo. But how is Uwezo? It's not a very good thing. Uwezo is a good thing in one side, but again not, because 50,000 for a group of a team that has the others who are 20 women group, others 15 special girls who have come together. It is little money, 50,000 and up to 500,000. And as a member of parliament, I've advised them that it is important for them to register companies. Register companies and avail yourself an opportunity of for you to go for this, it's not called ngafu, the 30% agpo. That is where money is. That is where all government institutions do, and every government institution must set aside 30% to go to the special groups, that is women, youth, and people with disability. And that is where the money is. So I've advised my self-help groups, women, youth, and people with disability. I've advised them to go for companies. And to register a company is that cheap these days. Only 10,750. You are able to get your certificate of incorporation. What had happened in the past is that the AGPO group, the special groups, much as they had the certificate of incorporation, they were again got some hurdles or barriers ahead there, where you have to have 4 different certificates from National Construction Authority. I'm happy to pronounce to the women today that I did move an amendment in the National Construction Authority in Parliament which went I started last term, but it didn't reach to getting a signature of the president. So we are also requesting the president that to ascend his signature on this very important amendment that got parliament approval, so that our women, once they get their certificate of incorporation, then they are not again getting a barrier, or you are not curtailed by the 3 certificates that you have to go to get from National Construction Authority. So what did I do? I proposed an amendment which went through and is just waiting the president accent, is that for the startups to be given an opportunity, once you produce a certificate of incorporation, then you are immediately given that very important certificate of the National Construction Authority. And there are 3 different groups. There is civil, there is building, there is construction, all that. So that it does not become a hindrance for them to participate in the procurement of the various government institutions and government departments. Because without an NCA, the 3 certificate, you cannot qualify to participate in the tendering process. So what I did is I passed that amendment, and I'm happy to say it went through, and we are happy to say that now women, once the president accents, then but it's only for the startups and job group 8, 7, and 6. And that is where most of these categories fall. Category 8, 7, and 6. And that was approved in Parliament, and that will be a very big boost to the. The only challenge that I have told also these women group is that they need to get advice from the Uwezo office, the government Ministry of Trade and Investment. They go there so that they are given some information regarding business. It is one thing to get money. It is the other thing for you to pick a location. It is the other to decide what you are going to do. You remember the quail issue, the eggs that were being told they were magical eggs. I don't know what they were doing. So every woman, every youth group ran to that quail eggs things. And all of a sudden it collapsed. So their business again came down. So we are asking them to go to Uwezo office, go to the Ministry of Trade Investment. They will be able to advise which are the best businesses, because our business depends on location, depends on what is trending currently. If now, when I see hawkers, and hawkers are very good marketers, when they see the rains have come, the first thing is they run into a shop and buy umbrella, because everybody needs an umbrella at that time, because they need to shade themselves from rain. So that is what I'm also advising the women, that they need to get some professional advice on matters to do with business, so that they can be able now to do business that will be able to give them profit. If you remember the quail thing, as I was saying, the market, the supply was so much, it exceeded the demand to a point that the prices came down. They drastically just came down. And most of the women lost a lot of business and a lot of money. So I want to appreciate today was a very successful day, and we have advised them that this money is not for sherehe during the Sikuku. It is not for the women to go and now have their facelift in terms of salons and whatever. It is for them to go and use this money in the coming year for business, and is going to help. And they have agreed. Most of them have accepted to start thinking about companies. And I'm saying this because I have had an experience of women and youth who have engaged themselves in business and the amount of money that they are getting in terms of profit. So allow me to bring in Leah just to say a word about Uwezo and maybe something for.
We are grateful this afternoon because our patron has given us a good leadership in Nakuru Town East. Our committee is very supportive and we are grateful. Today we were issuing the 7th phase of Uwezo Fund in Nakuru Town East, and we issued to 37 groups. It is a revolving fund, which is one of the affirmative funds in our country, and it is supporting the groups of women, PWDs, and the youths. And for today, we witnessed one PWD group called Wachache Disability, which managed to get a maximum of 500,000. The groups are doing fine. They underwent a training for 5 days before we funded them, and we are looking forward to them repaying so that we are able to issue to other groups. Thank you.
So, Chairman, have something? Let me just say, I was very impressed by the women who are there and the amount of knowledge that they have. The only business is that, of course, the economic situation in the country is not very stable. We have already passed that information to them, but they shouldn't worry. That very soon, and as I was telling them, the president just signed some trade pacts with the European Union. Of course, we were supposed to come in as East African community with the other East African countries. And just recently, the minister, Madam Rebecca Miano, signed that very important trade pact with the European Union. What does it mean? It means a huge business opening for our business people in the country. As you have seen, our exports have been deteriorating for the last almost 5 years. It has the export. If you look at the balance between the import and export, now the import has so hugely overtaken our exports. So what the president did in negotiating for the trade pact with the European Union is something that is, and people might just look as if it's at the national level. It's not at the national level. These are the very same women, if they decide to go into the market of, say, avocado, they'll be bringing avocado, which will not be taxed as much. So it will be very competitive. We'll be able to put our agricultural produce and businesses at a very competitive prices, which means then we can be able to compete. If the taxes are imposed on an item, then it means you become incapacitated in terms of competition in the market. But once the taxes are removed by the European Union, that it means then we can take our products at that lower cost and competitive cost, and we can be able to get a lot of business. And I have already told women, don't look at what was signed by and negotiated by the president as something of a national thing. It's not a national thing. It will go down to this women group, youth group, and the people with disability. Whatever they produce, they can be able to send it to, if it is about vegetables, if it's about fruits, if it's about, name it. Whatever, if they go into the sector of maybe beef or whatever, mutton, it is going to go into, and that is what I was telling them. They need to look at what is trending. The office of Uwezo, the Ministry of Trade and Investment will be able to advise that now kuna biashara ya nyama na nyama inaanza kuuza hii 500,000, mkinunua ng'ombe kama 10 tuchinje, tutaweza kuipeleka kwa bei ambayo italeta faida. And you know that is instant money, si pesa ambaye inaenda kukaa. I've told them to be very careful not to go into businesses where the returns are very delayed in terms of if you go to agriculture, hiyo ni mwaka mzima, alafu inaanza kusumbuana, kutokea weather na ikuwe ni mbaya, hapo unaenda unaumia. So these are some of the issues ambaye, wacha mtu hii akuja, ndio future. Kuja tu toto, hapana kukuza, sindio? Wacha uonekane kwa TV kwa mara ya kwanza, sindio? Naitwa nani? Shika, ongea, sema hello. So I think that's it. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Thank you. Toto?